This week we'll be going over all of the achievements in the co-op game It Takes Two. So this is a co-op puzzle game that is mainly a platformer, but also covers pretty much any trope or game genre that you can think of. There's a lot of variety with the levels and only 20 achievements. And if you go through playing all of the minigames one time, get through it in about 10 to 11 hours. If you don't play all of them, which you do not have to, you can save a little bit of time that way. And now, let's get into it. The best way to cover this is going to be level by level. Most achievements are related to small Easter eggs, but we also have Minigame Megalomania for finding all of the minigames. There are 25 of these minigames hidden throughout, so I'll go through all of these in the order that you can find them to 100% the achievements in one playthrough. Starting out, we won't actually have anything to grab until we get to the Depths chapter of the Shed area. Right after the cutscene with Dr. Hakim telling you about the minigames you'll be finding, you'll come up to the first minigame, Whack-a-Cody. You do not actually have to play it for it to count, just get close enough for it to pop up the name on your screen. This goes for every one of the minigames here on out, so if you're trying to save time, don't even play the minigames. Then shortly after this, you'll have the section off to your right where you can go for the second minigame, Flip the Switch. Then you won't have anything else to pick up until you get to the captured level of the tree area. You'll go through a little bit of this level and then go through a wooden door into a larger area. Instead of continuing off to the left, we're going to go into this cubby on the right to get Fried Friendship for using the torture device that the squirrels had developed. And then very shortly after that, you're going to come up to this area where we can get the third minigame, Tug of War. Now there won't be any more until you get to the chapter of The Tree Deeply Rooted. Right after the Mortar Wasp boss fight, you're going to come up to a photo shoot area where you're going to get the achievement Struck a Pose for using the camera. And with these little hidden Easter egg achievements, only one player actually needs to do the action for it to unlock for both players. That fact doesn't really come into effect until later on because this one you do kind of need both people, but it's important to note. Shortly after that, you're going to come over here to the Plunger Dunger minigame. There will be one plunger gun on each side, you both just get on there and go through it. Then we don't have any more until we get to the chapter Pillow Fort in Rose's room. At the beginning of this, you're going to go up to the right to find two gamepads where you can play the fifth minigame, Tank Brothers. Then a little bit later in the level, you're going to go through a tunnel, but instead of going straight through, you'll take the path up to the right that goes around, across the top of the tunnel, and over to an area with two action figures. This is an Easter egg for the developer's other game, A Way Out. You'll just need to hit their buttons at the same time to unlock the Plastic Prison Breakers achievement. Then moving on to the Spaced Out chapter of Rose's room, we can get a few more. First will be after the first time you go through the gravity lift, you'll go up and jump off the first small platform here, where you'll go through a teleporter to start the sixth minigame, Spacewalk. Then further in, you'll unlock the ability to use the next grav lift above you in the same way the previous one was hidden. You'll go through a teleporter to do the laser tennis minigame. Now past that point, you're eventually going to come to a teleporter that will take you to the area with these pillows built up around the beginning. To get Faraway Frequencies, you'll need to climb up to the right tower and you'll find a satellite dish which you can use to find and scan 3 sound clips. Just kind of point it around until you find them and then wait for them to finish. Again, only one person needs to do it for the achievement to activate for both players. And this is the way all of these Easter egg achievements are going to work. Further up on this same level, you're going to get Look at Him Go for using the seesaw contraption to launch the small version of Cody into space. May will need to go up to the top and jump down to launch the small version of Cody. Then there will be nothing else until we get to the chapter Hopscotch in Rose's room. At the very beginning, you can get a Daring Devil for coming up to the speedy driver track with a car, a ramp, and a ring. You'll need one person to get in the car and one to pull the car back to charge it up and release it so that it goes through the ring. Then above this, on the next ledge up, we have the Rodeo minigame. And further in, after you go through the animal block skating area, you can go around the abacus wall for the Feed the Reptile minigame. Then much further across in some ball pits, you're going to come up to a piggy bank where you can get Break the Bank for filling it up and then busting it open. And then right next to it, we can get the Batting Team minigame. And then we won't have any more until we get to the Dino Land chapter of Rose's room. Here we can get Snackosaurus, once one of the players are controlling the large dinosaur and one of them are on the smaller one. You'll need to position the smaller one somewhere in this area past the first block that they flip, and have the person on the big dinosaur eat them. Then once you get to the Once Upon a Time chapter of Rose's room, we can grab the minigame Birdstar. This will be right at the beginning over to the left next to the giant dartboard. Then for on-rails experience, one of you will need to jump in the conductor seat of the train that goes around the village area. And across the village, along the train tracks, you can find this machine with the paper coming out near the painting area. And here you can get Realize Your Art for jumping into the machine and turning your character into an art piece. Then there won't be any more until we get to the Gates of Time chapter in the Cuckoo Clock. In the large village area, you're going to run straight across and over to the left by the Hell Tower sign to get the Bomb Run minigame. This is pretty much just a race across town to hit checkpoints, and the slowest one is gonna blow up. Then of course, right next to it on the other side of the Hell Tower sign, you have the Horse Derby minigame. And then finally we can get Platforming Prodigy in front of the Hell Tower sign. This is the hardest achievement in the game as it requires some decent platforming to get up to the top of the tower and activate the achievement. But of course, only one of you have to get to the top for both to get the achievement, and May can leave her clone partway up the tower to make it a little bit easier for her to get back up to the top. And then for the last one in this area, we have Force Triangulated for getting on this boat, on the river, and riding it through the tunnel, and going into this door for a Zelda Easter egg. We won't have any more things to grab until we get to the Winter Village chapter in the Snow Globe area. You'll be able to get these as you clear the bell towers, unfreezing parts of the village. So you can get these slowly as you go through each area, or just clear all the towers and go through and clean these up before you leave. Either will work. So the first one we have in this area is Lost and Found for saving the baby turtles and bringing them back to their mom. They're all pretty close by the mother turtle, just check around the ice nearby and you'll find them. And then very close to the mother turtle and the bell tower to the left, you're going to have a swing where you can get Mood Swing for pushing the swing so fast that the person on it flies off. And then we have the minigame Icicle Throwing, pretty close by to that. After taking care of another tower, you can get the Shuffleboard minigame. And then after the last tower, you can finally get the Snow Warfare minigame. There won't be anything else until you get to the Beneath the Ice chapter of the Snow Globe. Here we can go up to the surface and get on this boat to get something fishy for grabbing a fish with a gun and feeding it to one of the seals. And then if you turn around and go across the level, there's a huge pirate ship where you can get Terror of the Seven Seas for opening the large chest and taking one of the pirate hats. And then for the last one we can get in this chapter, it's the minigame Ice Race, which you can find across the map again, at the large race flag. Then skipping ahead to the next part where we'll have something to get is the Green Fingers chapter of the garden area. Right after the Burrower boss fight, you're going to see a sign for a greenhouse spa. Here you can go in and get Sized Relaxation for interacting with any of the items in that spa. And then after another cutscene, we'll be in the Weed Whacking chapter, and we can go over to the right and find the Garden Swings minigame. And then shortly after that, after turning the corner and going to a little bit of a mushroom field, instead of going straight off to the right, you can curve off to the left and go up here for the Larva Basket minigame. We don't have any more until after the frog hopping part. So on the chapter Frog Pond, you'll be able to get the Snail Race minigame on the other side of this wall. And then our next thing to grab is going to be after we get into the attic area. In the Setting the Stage chapter of the attic, you'll come here multiple times, unlocking new things each time you come back. At the beginning, you'll be able to come over to the right for the Slot Cars minigame, and then after you get through the speakers and lights part, you're going to come up to another section of the attic where you can go get the chess minigame, and then you can go up and to the left above to go over to the musical chairs minigame. Now there's only one chair since you have 2 people. It's a bit of a weird musical chairs game, but it is there. Then we'll get into the actual symphony area to get our orchestra. Here you're going to have the volleyball court in the middle of the map where you can grab that minigame. And off to the right from where you spawn, you can go to a small area where you can sit down and meditate for the Mediation Maestro achievement. Now once you get back to the Setting the Stage area of the attic, you're going to have another area unlocked and you can get the 25th and final minigame, Track Runner. This will be over to the right with some arcade machines. As you get to this one, as long as you went to all of the other ones, you'll also get the Minigame Megalomania achievement. And at this point, the only thing left to do is go ahead and finish out the game. At the end of the last cutscene where May and Cody find Rose, you're gonna get the achievement It Took Two for completing the game. And with that, we now have 100% of the achievements for It Takes Two. We also have the community Discord open, which you should all join and come chat about achievement hunting or just hang out with some people in the community. And of course, we have YouTube memberships now, so if you want to support the channel further, get access to custom emotes to use in the comments, and have your name featured in a credit section at the end of the videos, go ahead and join that now. And as always, if you liked the video or found it helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below with what games you'd like me to cover next.